Folks, welcome into sportsbookreview.com. It's time to talk some NFL action on a Friday in late May. Kyle, are you ready?
I love the NFL. It's a good, your brain's stressed out all week, especially baseball this week, right? The weather's been absolutely atrocious. We don't have to worry about the damn weather for this. We can just talk some football. We can make fun of Julio Jones. I also love there's a lot of players that I like to make fun of that are on this list today, so I'm excited. And look at you. You're no Julio Jones. SBR, Donnie's
Good.
on the injured list. He went probable. None of this questionable bullshit.
Yep.
He went probable. He's in it today, so I'm happy to be with you, brother.
Even brought out the SBR tuxedo today. Looks like we matching for a nice little show here. And also, people don't understand this behind the scenes. Like, that was a pro opening right there. I didn't have my screen. I timed it right. Esteban behind the scenes gave me the 3, 2, 1. And off we're rolling right here. So we guess it right. We nail it. And we get into the show here and have some fun. Thank you guys for joining us here on a Memorial Day weekend Friday to talk a little NFL football, because you're right, Kyle. We might not have any baseball tonight. Who knows? But certainly you can always talk football. The interesting part coming up, we've heard this all along. Where is Julio Jones going? Where is he going to land? Always knowing post-June 1, it's a lot easier to trade Julio Jones than pre-June 1 with the salary cap issues that we're having here in the NFL. 3 teams I'm going to bring up right now in the lead, betting purposes-wise, where Julio Jones will land. Number 1 on that list, the Patriots at plus 150, the Titans at plus 200, and San Francisco 49ers, Kyle, plus 550. Give me those thoughts real quick on these before I counteract and tell you you're wrong.
Well, none of those teams make any sense to me, especially if they're going to give they could use the wide receiver. Like the Titans, they make sense. And, of course, the Patriots can use a wide receiver. What doesn't make sense to me is why in the world they're talking about people are offering first-round picks for this guy. Look, Julio Jones is a physical phenomenon. He's a freak. If you look at all time, just – players at that position who were just the most physically gifted wide receivers. I mean, he's on the short list, right? He's with Randy Moss and Calvin Johnson, and DK Metcalf has put himself on that list. Julio Jones, Michael Irvin, you could probably consider Michael Irvin back in those times. He was so athletically gifted at the position. But a first-round pick for a guy who's 32 years old, you're good for, and we talk about this every Sunday, you're going to get one play. It's going to be a 36-yard catch up the sideline. He's going to leap up, look like an all-world receiver, and the rest of the game he's going to be limping on the sidelines, maybe 1 or 2 plays. I don't understand why you would give up a first-round pick for a 32-year-old wide receiver who cannot stay on the field. The only team that I would be like, okay, I don't mind you giving up a first-round pick for would be the Green Bay Packers, doing that to appease Aaron Rodgers and get his ass back to the team so that you have your all-world quarterback. Other than that, why in the world would you give up a first or a second-round pick for this? Maybe I'm undervaluing Julio Jones at 32, but I know just capping his games last year, the year before, you can never trust the guy to be on the field. And if he does make it to the field, you can't trust him to stay on for the whole game. So I just don't understand the price. Sure, the Patriots make sense, but anything more than a third-round pick to me is way overpaying for this guy.
Numbers I was using was for yesterday, Kyle, at a points bet out of New Jersey. Now, just looking on Twitter right now, because the great part about being live, like we could, hey, so this stuff is fluid as we go along. The DraftKings Sportsbook puts out their updated odds. New England Patriots plus 4. Now, see, this is why you got to shop around here. New England Patriots plus 450. How about the second place team? Los Angeles Rams plus 500. And by the way, let me go ahead with this, and we talk about the salary cap, which we're going to talk about in just a few moments, so don't slide that bar down just yet. Nobody has any money, apparently.
Right.
The Los Angeles Rams are out of money every year and sign hundreds of millions of dollars worth of players. So again, in a depressed cap year, and for this year coming up, I'm led to believe that Julio Jones is now a prime. They have no draft picks and no cap space, and they're going to make it happen. Kyle, what
are they trading? What are they going to say? Like, hey, we'll let you play a couple home games in our beautiful new stadium. Like, I don't know what the hell you offer them. Well, a couple hotel suite. Gronky's just going to have to work out something with Arthur Blank. Is he going to, buy half the stock in Home Depot? I'm not exactly sure how that would all work. The Rams, there's no way he can go to. If he goes to the Rams, we talk about all the time the whole salary cap thing and team. It's all bullshit, right? And if the owner has the money, they're going to get the player. And there's no doubt Stan Kroenke has got the money. Obviously, Kroenke is one of the richest people in the world.
Yep.
But I don't know how the Rams fit him in? How does that work? What do they trade for him? They don't have any draft capital. They have nothing. I don't understand.
Man, that team will be absolutely lethal. And also keep an eye on that because it's listing that the Rams moved from 66-1 to 5-1 within a week. That's not just somebody saying, hey, me and my buddies, we're going to have a good guess on the Rams. That means where there's smoke, there's usually fire. So an interesting name to keep up. And maybe they said it was a future first rounder. Is this getting like the NBA where, Paul George, you get 18 first round picks for him and James Harden because you're saying, well, over the next 10 years, we're going to draft 30th and the 30th pick is useless in NBA, but not so much in the NFL. But if we already have a first round pick on the table, which Atlanta says they do and haven't accepted it, that means, Kyle, it's not a bad team that's trading, but hey, we'll take this. This might be a top 10 pick. This is, oh, come on, man. You guys are going to be really good. Sure, we'll give up a first round pick, but if it's a 27th overall pick, we'd rather have it in the teens or something higher. Could this be a Rams smokescreen? But I got to tell you, it's kind of exciting, Julio out to the Rams, even if he might be questionable each and every week.
Well, it's not exciting for me because I don't think they need anything else. And
no,
for my 49ers,
it's a Niners hate. Okay, go ahead. I like that.
Yeah. I can't be having that bullshit. Like the Rams have enough. Like enough is enough. Give it a rest. But it is weird, right? So I haven't seen any stories about the Rams, but that's a drastic movement. So somebody knows something. I just don't know what they would have to offer. What, first round pick in 2027 or something?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I don't know how they would do it.
And how many first round picks can they trade away? I mean, I like what they're doing because they're saying like, hey, it's nice to have first round draft picks, but we'd rather have a Matthew Stafford. We'd rather have a Jalen Ramsey. And I get it. I'm with it. Yeah. But sooner or later, you run out of capital to try to make moves for bigger players. But we'll see if it maybe is the Rams. And it's getting close here because the 31st is Monday, obviously June 1. You could probably announce the trade before that and just designate it as a June 1st salary cap casualty. But we'll see how that turns out. It's fun to talk about it, but also from the teams up top. Again, we'll get back to it. Why go to the Patriots? They win. I get it. It's cold weather. You have no quarterback.
Exactly.
Or it is a quarterback. It's a rookie. I think the Titans actually fits him perfectly. You go to a division where you can dominate. You're still staying in the South. Ryan Tannehill is a quarterback. Good wide receiver on the opposite side from you in A.J. Brown. Unbelievable running back to take the pressure off because as a wide receiver, a dominant running game means the safeties creep up and there you go, shooting downfield for those balloon balls that he's been catching from Matt Ryan for the past decade, it seems like. But this is interesting doings. If I had my druthers and said, Julio, outside of, let's go to Green Bay and win or Tampa Bay, I think the odds makers are getting it right here, and I like the Titans. If you had your choice, outside of obviously, hey, I would love the Eagles to get him or the 49ers, where do you think he should go, but also where he should go, and it makes sense both for the team and also for Julio?
Well, I think you hit the nail right on the head. I think the Titans do make a ton of sense. And look, the Titans are going to have to score points. They haven't done much to improve that defense from a year ago. I know they added I think they got Bud Dupree from the Steelers. Let's see if he stays on the field. Like they need to improve that pass rush.
Yes.
And that secondary actually wasn't that bad. They just had no pass rush. So they're going to need to score points. Obviously, they lost Corey Davis, who went to the Jets, I believe. God, going through all these players. So they do need another wideout. And again, the Patriots make no sense because exactly what you said. Cold weather. Two of those teams, the Dolphins and the Bills, have shut down corners that are going to make life hard for you anyways. And over half your season is going to be played in freezing cold weather. You go to the AFC South, you're right. You're in Tennessee. You're playing in a dome in Indianapolis. You're playing in a dome in Houston. You're playing a warm weather game in Jacksonville.
Not great defenses.
Look, the Colts would be the best of the three, of course. And even their secondary, I still think needs some help. They started out really hot last year and then sort of regressed as the year went on. But then you look at the Titans and the Jags, those might be outside of maybe the Lions, the worst secondaries in football. So the Titans, if of those teams you listed with those numbers listed, the Titans are the one that by far makes the most sense. And I wouldn't count out the Chargers just yet. I think the Chargers would be interesting. Warm weather team again. AFC West, they're going to throw the ball a lot. Young quarterback. They have some of the capital to get and could sort of maybe help that younger team, newer coach. I mean, Julio Jones is almost the same age as the new head coach, Brandon Staley, out there for the Chargers. So maybe the Chargers could be a sneaky little backdoor play there. But I think I'm with you. I think the Titans make a ton of sense, and it certainly helps to have your number one receiver, A.J. Brown, lobbying for it. We'll see what happens, but I do think the Titans, for me, would be the favorite.
And also, it's kind of interesting as well from a selfish standpoint for me. Would be lovely to get Julio Jones traded. Why? Well, Philadelphia Eagles play those Atlanta Falcons opening day. And I know what Julio kicks. Hey, the one time you don't want to face Julio Jones, Kyle, is what, week 1? Because he's probably, he's going to be there. So we'll see. We keep an eye on it. But fun talks here with Julio. Each and every week we have these shows. We always get an update. Maybe next Friday's show, it's going to be like, whoa, does Julio and where does his team factor in once we flip over the odds on which team he actually goes to? Now, let's send it down one of these spots. The NFL salary cap on the rise, which is great news for many franchises. Why? Because you can go out and spend money on players. The players like it as well. You saw a lot of players this year, Kyle, take a flyer, say, you know what? I know that cap's rising over the next couple of years, the new TV deals. Once we get outside of COVID and the fans back in the stands, let me bet on myself. 1-year deal, then I'm going to cash in next year or the year after. So as we look at the salary cap rising to $208 million per team, which would be roughly what? Almost a $30 million rise, I believe, or close to it from this season, which is great because teams, again, like my Philadelphia Eagles, eating money on Carson Wentz of about $35 million, when that salary cap number is 210, 220, 230, much more palatable. But when it's down in those, 170, 180 ranges, that doesn't really help you out all that much. But good news for the NFL that business will be back to usual, hopefully, the following business year. And if your team needs players and your owner's got them deep pockets, you can go and get them.
Exactly. And it just signifies that we're getting back to normal, right? So, look, we're already starting to get fans in the other sports and in the NBA playoffs, MLB, UFC. We're getting fans back. That means we're getting back to normal. So the NFL is following suit. It would be a bad sign if they're like, you know what, we're going to cut the salary cap because we're not sure everyone's going to be back in the stands. This tells me they fully expect packed houses every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. So it's not just good for the NFL and the NFL teams. I think it's good for all of us fans. A good $30 million spike. Obviously, this year it's really low, 182 or something like that, lower than everyone expected. But hey, we're ready to rock and roll next year. We're going to have a packed house. We're going to be capping games different. The home field advantage will be back in effect. I'm looking forward to it. It's great for everyone. Good news for everyone. And that's why I got a little bit of a smile on my face. Life is getting back to normal. I think we should all be happy about that.
Yeah, Philadelphia Phillies back to 100% capacity, moving up to date 8 days sooner. The Philadelphia 76ers, now they have a 2-0 lead, Kyle, have said next round, full house down at the Wells Fargo Center. So it is but time to get back to business. Now, when we say it's time to get back to business, one young guy last year not maybe handling his business. And it's always interesting how these tea leaves leak out through these football teams. And Tua Tagovailoa, you can't say anything wrong about the kid again at Alabama. Winner in everything he did. Then he goes to the NFL, obviously gets hurt his last year in college football. Can't really get a full offseason in, but he emerges as a starter for the Dolphins. And the last thing I want to hear is, you know what? I don't know if I was really comfortable calling plays last year. Even if that is the case, and you are Tua Tagovailoa, and in your mind, like right now, Kyle, you're thinking on the show like, oh my goodness, I got to be on camera. I can't believe I'm on camera right now. Never show it on the screen. You never would show it on the screen. Why would you tell your teammates the ultimate alpha dog on a football team is the quarterback? You see it back in the day with the program with Joe Kane. Hey, put the women and children to bed. We're going out hunting tonight. Yeah, that's my guy right here, slinging back fears. No matter what, he is Johnny Danger, taking those snaps where when all hell is breaking loose, the coolest guy is the guy in the pocket with the football going, you know what? I don't care what happens here. We're going to win this football game, as opposed to ready, break. He ain't even comfortable back here. Like, I don't even know it's 3rd and 6. This crowd is screaming. My guy back here is not even comfortable. Kyle, he can't let that out.
No, he should. I can't believe. I can't believe that he would even say that. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, we knew it last year, right? We absolutely knew it. And his team knew it, and his head coach knew it. As soon as the game got murky and Tua was in, and they needed a few, they were saying, come on in, let's go. So it doesn't shock me at all. It just kind of goes to show you they definitely rushed him a little bit. And the Dolphins, I think, could have made a deeper sort of playoff. They would have made the playoffs, in my opinion, if they would have just left Tua on the bench the entire time. He just wasn't ready to play. Didn't look comfortable throwing the ball. I think if you watch the Dolphins game outside of that Cardinals game where they had that little shootout with Kyler Murray against that dreadful defense in Arizona, he didn't look competent in the pocket throwing the football. And that's why we knew week 17 when they had the must win against the Bills, we're like, let's just hold on just a little bit because they don't have Ryan Fitzpatrick to lean on, and they leaned on him quite a bit when Tua was in. I expect, it's going to be a different offseason for him. Obviously, last year was weird, right? And they didn't have the rookie mini camps and the OTA, so he'll be able to get some of that stuff. I'm rooting for him. Super talented. And I think Miami's one of these young up and coming teams. But dude, you got to have more machismo than that. You need to know when to volunteer information and when not to volunteer information. Like if I got chlamydia and I'm at the bar and there's a pretty girl talking to me, you think I'm telling her I have chlamydia? No, of course not. We're going to worry about that on Tuesday.
You just do a 3 to 5 bid in a couple of years, you'll deal with it. You know what I mean?
By
not telling people. That's just the way it is. You never let the cat out of the bag, which was so interesting. And by the way, a lot of people that watch this show watch a lot of content here on SBR, which is fantastic stuff. So we thank you guys for tuning in. But the advent now of the improvements of in-game wagering, which you see how much fun we have on the Major League Baseball show doing it. But when you said, getting to football season, it was usually pregame team total for me, maybe look at like a halftime wager, or if I'm watching the game and Patrick Mahomes gets injured, I bet the other team. But now as you look at it, can you imagine these scenarios this year where the Dolphins are horrendous? And again, it's not going to happen with the Dolphins because Fitzpatrick is gone. But where Fitzpatrick comes in and like midway through the third quarter, the Dolphins can't do anything and the team total is like a 9.5. Like those situations are going to be live this year and be so much fun to see how we can cap and play these things out. So Tua not being ready, it's one of those things, because even in the past, I remember betting on a Chicago Bears game. Mitchell Trubisky was the starting quarterback, and he got hurt maybe midway through the first quarter when that time 2 years ago when he sprained his shoulder, and Chase Daniel came in. And I had the Bears as a bet. I'm like, oh, my God, this is fantastic. Like, imagine you saying, like, I hope the starting quarterback gets knocked out early for the bet I have because I have a better chance, Kyle.
Yeah, that's the only way we could bet the Dolphins last year, right? Literally, we would say it. Like, if Ryan Fitzpatrick was starting, we would take this team total. God,
so fun.
No doubt about it, but we can't because it's Tua. And then and so everyone knows that. And then, I mean, read the room, dude. Nobody wants to hear. Imagine if I walked in and told my teenage son, "Hey, buddy, well, Dad just doesn't have the money this month, so I don't know where we're going." Like, you just don't say those things to people who are relying on you. Like, man up, swallow that, and don't tell anyone. Tell like your little girlfriend on Instagram that to get attention or something. Don't come out and tell. You're a grown man. Grow the hell up.
Dad, are we going to have to move? No, we're not moving. Meanwhile, you walk in the other room, you're breaking down.
Exactly. But you just don't tell them. That's just, you know what I mean? You just can do that. You just don't do it. Time to grow up.
Don't. And talking about some, Tua Tagovailoa, because he has a big year this year. They don't wait long in the NFL, man. You have, if you are a high draft pick at quarterback, you get a lot more chances than most do. But it feels like Tua, just as a rookie, was already under the gun, as if we're waiting to, you got to win. So a lot of pressure on him this year. Let's shift it over from a quarterback to a quarterback, I guess you could say, as we slide it down. Tim Tebow equals Taysom Hill. And I think we're really getting ahead of ourselves here because, number one, the narrative is moving way too fast as opposed to, hey, we're going to bring Tim Tebow in here and work him out as a tight end, which turned into he now is going to get a 5-year, $60 million contract and be the starting tight end for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And now it's turning into you can bet his prop total for scoring touchdowns at over 2.5. And I'm saying, I don't even know if he makes the third preseason game. And we're talking about betting this guy. Now he's a great tight end. He's all of a sudden Taysom Hill out of nowhere after 10 years. And now he's expected to get 3 touchdowns. Like, and over the 2.5 touchdowns, too. That's not throwing. That's like he has to score 3 touchdowns himself. He might not even make the team. He won't make the team.
Well, at least the universe is smart because it looks like the early money's coming on the under, which it should be. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, I do think he'll make the team because, one, I think Urban Meyer's an attention whore.
By the way,
Urban Meyer isn't it?
He's jacked, Kyle. He does look jacked.
Yeah, he does. But Urban Meyer he's an attention whore. He loves the attention. He'll love to have Tebow to rely on, come over for prayer study, whatever crap that they do at their house. Just sounds horrifically boring. But, equals Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill can throw a pass. There's only one quarterback in the league who throws worse than Tim Tebow, and that's Cam Newton. That's it. That's the list. That's the only list of players I trust less throwing a pass than Tim Tebow. So now you're telling me you're going to take your number 1 overall draft pick, the highest rated college quarterback prospect since Peyton Manning and John Elway, Andrew Luck, I guess. And you're going to take him out so that you can have Tim Tebow maybe throw the ball? No. Look, I don't have a high regard for Urban Meyer, but even he's not that stupid. No, I would be smashing the under on that 2.5 touchdowns. Tim Tebow, if he makes the team, it's only for publicity. You're going to see him in a couple little gimmick plays, but this guy's not going out there scoring touchdowns. Give me a break.
But if he what's the crazy part about it is because Urban Meyer is just on his own reservation. And that's what happens when you get a lot of success at the college level. You run the show. You answer to nobody. Sometimes I feel like he might be sitting at home, Kyle, and saying, you know what? This is my team right here. I can put Jim off the street on the 50-man roster because this is my football team. Because he went to Shad Khan before that contract got finalized. Hey, Shad, look, understand you own the team. You are worth billions of dollars, and owners always want to come down and say, you know what, here's who we should pick in the first round, and this guy should make the team. Let's get one thing straight. This is my team. And the minute you come down and try to mess with it, just cash me out for my $60 million guaranteed, and I'll walk away. We'll all be happy here. It's almost one of those things that you look at where, is he going to do this just because, well, wait a second, nobody ever tells me no. Now all of a sudden, I'm hearing from the media, this is going to ruin my football team. Now watch him putting them on the team.
He might, because Urban Meyer is like that. I really don't like Urban Meyer at all. I think he's a complete and utter fraud. And I know that's going to upset some of you Ohio State, Florida fans. That's fine. This dude actually has to coach grown men now, not just pick any player he wants and just beat up on Southwest Missouri State. Okay, so I think that's exactly why I don't think Tebow's making the team because he's the second or third best tight end on the team. I'm thinking he's making the team because Urban Meyer, first of all, is a sucker for Tim Tebow, and he loves the attention. And it's a bizarre situation. Tim Tebow, I'll be happy when I don't have to hear the name Tim Tebow anymore. But for now, we'll just make fun of him. And if I ever, during the practice, if I hear, oh, Tim Tebow took 15 reps at quarterback this week in the red zone, I'll be betting it. I'll be betting the under, and I'll be betting against the Jaguars just like that.
You know, it's funny. I've been feeling all that well all week, but somehow this Tim Tebow conversation just perked me up quite a bit because it's so fascinating and people get so angry when you could see me and Kyle, we have fun with it because it isn't that serious. If Tim Tebow makes the team, are you going to march somewhere in some city, quit your job, and you're not going to watch football? Who cares if he even makes it? Yeah. And that's up to Jacksonville. If he doesn't help their football team and they put him on the 53-man roster, who cares? And you know what? Me being in the content business the same way you are, Kyle, go ahead and put him on that team.
Yep. Every single day. I'll make fun of him every single day. I love making fun of Tim Tebow. And it'll probably get me in trouble because I'll probably end up making fun of Jesus too, which I tend to do sometimes. So who knows? It'll be dangerous, but it'll be fun at the same time.
By the way, his Fryer cut when he was getting hazed in Denver may be the most sensational hazing I've ever seen in my life. So you know that. Now, see, he's not a rookie, even though he's been away from the game for like 10 years. So it'd be beautiful if he made the team and he got a nice little Fryer tuck headshot again, once again. So interesting stuff doing, and this is one of those topics that is never going to go away as long as Tim Tebow is in uniform for the Jaguars, which is great because you know the stuff's going to come out. You're going to get the leaks both ways, Kyle. Like, yo, I was at practice yesterday. Tim Tebow looked really good. And then 24 hours later, I was talking to a few guys in the front office. It's like a big joke down there. They can't even believe he's still on the team. So get ready. Get your popcorn ready. It's going to be a fun summer with Tim Tebow here. 49ers and Lions. The reason why we picked this out, hey, we like to take a couple matchups here. We are weeks and weeks and weeks out. I believe like 70 days, Kyle, which isn't a lot before the NFL season gets underway. So each week we're going to pick out a week one game, try to spotlight it, and just give a few thoughts because technically we don't even know who's lining up all together for these teams, but it's still fun to look at. If I take a look at the odds across the board, mostly 7.5 and a total of 45.5 to 46.5. The question here for me is not if the San Francisco 49ers offense will be in gear. The question is, what am I actually getting out of the Detroit Lions, specifically on their offensive side? Because if we look at the offensive perspective from the 49ers, you got two really good tackles. You got a good offensive line. It's healthy coming in. Now you got Mack at center, Samuel at wide receiver, Kittle at tight end, Ayuk, Benjamin, Mostert, super speedster that's going to be healthy week one heading in. The question is it going to be Lance? Probably not. But you don't need him in this game. Jimmy Garoppolo could drop back 25 times in this game, complete 19 passes short, and they can win this football game. But as we always know, Kyle, week one and week two in the NFL, topsy-turvy. question this. I would be shocked if the Detroit Lions pulled off the upset in this one, even though they're at home.
I will be shocked, very, very depressed. There will be a lot of emotions running through my body. That's not going to happen. First of all, you get Kyle Shanahan going up against Jared Goff, whom he knows very well and dominated McVay and Goff when they were with the Rams. They really did. The 49ers had their number. Talking about a Lions team that can't stop the run, can't stop the pass. They're not going to be able to throw the football. They're talking about bringing in Todd Gurley. Todd bleeping Gurley. Honest question, who would you rather have on the Eagles next year as the backup to Miles Sanders? Frank Gore or Todd Gurley? Who would you rather have?
Honestly. I don't know. I might have Frank Gore. I might have Frank Gore.
Of course you would. Of course you would. He can carry the ball more than 10 times without his leg falling off. I mean, give me a break. The Lions are such a terrible organization. The 49ers are going to beat the living shit out of the Lions week 1. I'm marking it down now. Lock it in. That number could be 13.5, and I'm taking
even with Dan Campbell biting knees
even with
out there?
damn man 101 Campbell. They used to do these old man 101s making fun of Mark Schlereth, and be like, hey, it's called a mistake, not a Mr. Steak, and that's Dan Campbell. And no, that's how Dan Campbell won the interview. He gets in there, and he doesn't have the PowerPoint. He doesn't have the numbers. He goes, we're going to come in here, and we're going to be tough, and we're going to... No, the Lions are going to go 1-15 and be one of the worst teams in the league, and it's going to start with an ass-kicking by my 49ers week 1. Lions have no shot in this game. What are they going to do, run the ball against one of the best run defenses in the league? Nope. Who are they going to throw the football to? Nobody. Done.
By the way, Kyle, looking at week 1, other odds out here, in the advent of we usually like to see scoring, I'm seeing 43s out here, 45.5s, 44.5s, 46, 45, 42.5 in a football game, 44.5, Chicago and the Rams. Am I in for it? Like, am I looking at team totals here that I can get for thievery? Is that what I'm saying here?
Well, maybe right now, and I know one of those games is that Jacksonville Texans game, so we got to see who the Texans quarterback is going to be, because even though it's the Jacksonville defense, yikes, that's going to be scary.
Yeah, bring back Tom Savage for that one.
Yeah, just bring back Tom Savage. You may as well, because it looks like David Mills is going to be the guy, or they just signed somebody else. They have like 6 quarterbacks now. It won't be Deshaun Watson. But yeah, those numbers are low, and that Chargers game, right? What is that, 44.5 I'm looking at? That's a tough defense. Those are 2 good defenses, so I actually probably would lean the under there. But yeah, we didn't get a lot of these. We didn't get a lot of these numbers last year. They were all in those low 50s, high 40s. So I am excited too by those numbers as well. And this 49er game, the Niners might get there themselves. Honestly, they're going to stomp on the Lions.
There's only a couple things different, because me and Kyle this could be a Sunday football game. The only difference now is it's a little bit in the off season, where you probably put a couple zeros on the people watching now compared to what it does on Sunday afternoons with us here. So a little bit different in the off season when we're actually in season in the NFL. But it's always fun to talk about. Let's go over some final NFL off season thoughts here and what we anticipate coming up, because the time is moving quick, Kyle. It seems like just yesterday we were talking Super Bowl and going through Super Bowl week. Oh, my goodness, what are we going to do? It's freezing cold, and, it's so long till the next NFL season starts. But it's May the 28th right now on Friday. Monday is Memorial Day, which is the 31st. That flips over to June. My whole clock in life flips once you get to July 1st. And July is what Donnie do. They don't play football. That is when training camps start that month. So to me, July 1 kicks in football season, and we are not that far off. So when we do these off-season shows, like, what are you guys doing? We're never going to get there. Each and every week, we knock off another 7 days on our way down. Before we know it, we're going to be doing that. Hey, 30 days till the season. Here's our 30-day preview of NFL teams getting you ready for the regular season. So I'm excited for the off-season, and it's moving quick, Kyle.
Yeah, and we'll have Donnie's best bets and bankers in those preseason games, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. NFL X. Team total overs in preseason. We're getting on it, man.
Yeah, I cannot wait. It's going to be a full preseason and like a full year, and it's going to feel normal again. This isn't. It feels better than almost any offseason I can remember since, I guess, my Niners won the Super Bowl when I was a kid. 1995. But that was just so I could talk shit to my friends at school who were Cowboys fans. That was basically it. But this is really exciting. We're really close. You're right. It goes by fast. I mean, it's crazy. It's like, I'm planning 4th of July party right now. It's crazy. And you're right. After July 1st, that's when some of those guarantees come off where you can trade players. We talked about Julio Jones. So you're going to see a lot of veterans move, especially with this lower salary cap this year because of COVID last year. There's going to be some interesting stuff. I'm really excited to watch the teams. And hey, The rookie quarterbacks, they're going to be fun again. Lots of moving parts. I think this is probably the most excited I've been for any football season in the last 15 to 20 years.
Yep, Akbar, Nate, TD in here having some fun in the offseason. This is evergreen content, as we like to say, because, hey, if you say, oh, Donnie and Kyle are talking NFL action right now, you can always watch these and catch up on it. It's why we like to do it each and every week, just to say, you know what, here's what's going down in the NFL, because a lot of people focused on the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, Major League Baseball in full swing, but we are going to give you that coverage you need throughout the entire summer right here at sportsbookreview.com. So enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. This was the NFL show for Friday, May 28, 2021. I'm Donnie Seymour. He's Kyle Purviance. Good luck on those future wagers in the NFL.